disappeared for probably at least 2 times a week for lunch. And I would just load up, because I didn't have to cut anything. And I didn't have to buy like a whole cucumber, just have a little bit of cucumber in my salad. I'm a big salad bar guy, but these things have been gone for 3 years. And I think I'm going to get back into the salad bar game, baby.
I used to love buffets and salad bars and all that kind of stuff, and I haven't been to one since COVID. I'll tell the story quickly. My nephew, who at the time, I want to say was 5, we were on a little trip, and we went to, it was a brunch and everything like that. They had ice cream. So my nephew doesn't know any better because he's 5. Puts his spoon in the ice cream, which is cool, right? He's going to spoon it out, fine. But he doesn't spoon it out into his bowl. He spoons it into his mouth and then sticks it back in the ice cream. And I'm like, so we had to talk to the manager. We had to get him to pull the ice. And I started thinking to myself, you look around, people are.
Yeah, I don't think that 5-year-old germs wasn't going to hurt anybody.
No, but you know what I mean. Then you look at this old person and they're grabbing this. It's just, when you start thinking about it, I have a real struggle at this point with it now because I've thought about it, but I used to love going to them previously.
Well, and everybody's using the tongs there. Everybody's touching those. God knows where those hands have been.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've yet to see anybody actually sneeze under the sneeze guard. Maybe if I see that, Ray, it'll change my whole outlook.
Right? It's like
there is a reason the sneeze guard is there. It must happen enough that somebody said, we got to put these suckers in.
Yeah.
But I love salad bars, and I'm back in, Ray. I've never gotten sick off one, so it's easy for me to say, but I'm getting back in the salad bar game.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Bettor Sports Network.
Oh, check it out.
Moose and Keith on Bettor Sports Network.
It is 10:30 on this Friday morning. Moose and Keith with you. Mentioned going into break the association. And a couple of things there. Number one, let's talk a little bit about the Knicks locally here in New York, because Julius Randle suffered a significant ankle injury, and he's done for the rest of the regular season for the Knicks, as they announced yesterday. Could miss a part of the playoffs as well. And even though Brunson's been dealing with a foot and a hand, and he's missed, 10, 11 games now during the course of the regular season. IQ, I think, is going to be the 6th man of the year. Quickly has been fantastic. Barrett has regressed this year. We know the impact of Josh Hart. Loved his tweet yesterday saying it's only the Yankees if you live in New York. You're not a Mets fan. So I love that tweet, playing to the Bronx faithful and playing to the Yankee fan out there. Love that. But I think that's a big loss, obviously, for the Knicks. Whatever you think about Randall, and he's had a resurgence this season after a disappointing year last year, Keith, is his impact or his importance for the team can't be diminished. It really can't. And if you're going to match up against the Cleveland Cavaliers in that opening round, and you're not going to have a fully healthy, for argument's sake, Julius Randle for the entirety of that series, it's going to be next to impossible to get past Donovan Mitchell and company.
They could get swept. And I'm not trying to hurt the hearts of New York Knicks fans, because you and I fall under that umbrella as well. Whatever you want to say about Julius Randle, like you just led to, Julius Randle has been awesome this season for the New York Knicks. He's been a good leader. He's been motivational for this team, which is something I never thought I was going to be talking about. Like, I thought he was a dude, right? And what I meant by that is, he goes about his business and gets it done. This year, I felt like he's bought into being a leader on a team. Him and Jalen Brunson have taken over those roles. Obviously, Josh Hart being a part of this also has been fantastic. You mentioned some of the role players as well, trying to step it up. But if the Knicks don't have Julius Randle for the Cavaliers series, I think they're lucky if they get one win.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. It is. And the Cavs are one of those teams, I talked about Donovan Mitchell being the MVP of the league before the start of the season when he was at 37-1. Obviously, he's not going to be the MVP of the league.
No, you were 66-1.
That's right, 66. And then he dropped down to the mid-30s.
Yes.
They're not going to match up against the Cavs. And the Cavs are one of those sleepy teams in the East that everyone gets caught up when we talk about Embiid and the MVP race with Nikola Jokic. We talk about, obviously, the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks, as the Celtics are trying to close the gap. And we'll get into their matchup or their performance last night, as they absolutely just incinerated the Milwaukee Bucks. But Cleveland's one of those teams, Keith, in the Eastern Conference that, maybe they're the team that everyone forgets about that maybe does a little bit more damage than people expected. Maybe they get past, obviously, the Knicks. And I think the Knicks, even with a healthy Julius Randle, I think in all likelihood probably lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers in that 4-5 matchup. Now, I agree with you. I mean, I think they'd still probably take a game. But the Cavs are also one of those teams that if they make quick work of the Knicks in that opening round, who knows? I mean, maybe they put a little bit of a scare into the Milwaukee Bucks if the Bucks end up holding on to that number 1 seed in the East.
Yeah, and the Bucks have shown over the last couple of years that they have a penchant for losing game 1 of the series that they play in the Eastern Conference, and actually even in the NBA Finals, the year that they beat the Suns, they were down 2-1 and then ran the gamut there. I've said it all year. I like the Cavaliers. I think the Cavaliers are a dangerous team in the postseason. I don't think they match up well with the Bucks, and I'm not so sure that they match up well with the Celtics either. The Sixers are a more fascinating team there, but they would have to get by the Bucks in round number 2 in all likelihood to get to that spot. The New York Knicks, like right now, I just wanted to double check. So they're 2 games up in the loss column on the Nets and 2.5 ahead of them for the 5 spot. In all reality, what are we at? 77. So we got 5 games left. In all reality, I'd be surprised if the Knicks were to lose that number 5 spot. But what's the rest of their schedule? Hold on. We need to double check this.
Well, when you look the rest of the Knicks schedule here, I got it
the
right.
Next 5 games. You have it?
Yeah. I got it right here. So what the Knicks have left, they have at Cleveland tonight.
Loss.
Sunday, Washington.
Win.
Home. Wednesday at Indiana.
Debatable.
Friday, home New Orleans. Friday on the road, New Orleans.
Probably a loss.
Sunday, Easter Sunday, home Indiana.
I think win, right? Because the Pacers at that point will have 0 to play for. Am I correct at that point? Yeah, they do.
Yes.
Yeah, so actually, Pacers they could still sneak into the 10 spot.
They could. I mean, they need some help. I mean, they're sitting
I think you're looking at 2 and 3 for the Knicks to finish the season.
They're 3.5 games back. Right. So they're 2 and 3. They've got a 4-game lead on Miami. So could they could they fall behind the Brooklyn Nets? If you look at what the Brooklyn Nets have left on their schedule, now the Nets are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 2 and 6 in their last 8 games. When you look at what Brooklyn's got left on the schedule, Atlanta home tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Utah home Sunday. Minnesota home Tuesday. At Detroit. Orlando home. Philly home. So they close out the season. 5 of their 6 games are all at home. At the Clays. They only have 1 road game left, and that's at Detroit, which is a game they're going to win. Yeah, they could drop down to the 6.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, is that your silence? I think says a lot. Yes, they.
I'm looking down. I'm like, wow, like they can. That's rough.
It is.
And you know what the shame of this is? That someone wrote in here that like the Knicks can't have nice things, and I don't think it's that way. The Knicks have had such a solid NBA season. Solid.
Yeah, great.
Like you can't. You wouldn't say like at no point did you and I ever think they could win a title. We both had said, you win a series in the playoffs, very successful. But they've had a successful regular season that if Randall is really hurt like this, and if Jalen Brunson is still a little banged up, it's going to go all down the tubes. They're going to lose. They're either going to swept or win 1 game in the playoffs. And you're going to go into an offseason with questions now. Lots of questions for them.
You want to welcome Nick Durst aboard?
Yeah, we could sneak in our guy, Nick Durst. Why not?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you think he's going to want to talk? All right, before we put him on, send to the stage, is it how great the Mets are, some sort of food dish, or like laughing, or like maybe he'll rip Garrett Cole or something like that. Maybe he'll say like Garrett Cole walked the first batter yesterday, so he's trash. I think we get one of those.
I would probably say it's how good the Mets are.
All right.
I'm right. There you go. Nick Durst.
Morning, guys. Yeah.
Good hair. You got a good hair day going.
Yeah. Really nice hair day.
You're really solid,
haircut,
man.
but listen, I'm trying to look good like Keith here.
You're looking good, man. You got the 90210 sideburns going.
Well, here's the thing, Moose. The You Know I'm Right podcast actually nominated for the best sports business podcast recently. We're going against some heavy hitters from Sports Illustrated, Andrew Marchand, John Oran, like from the Post, and Rashad Jennings. So I got to look good. I got to look presentable at all times.
Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
News. Yep.
You two are a big part of it, of course, former guests. So, but that's not why
small
I called
part.
in.
You guys do it on a day. You guys do it on a weekly basis.
It's a grind.
We do. It's a grind. So we'll see. That's not why I called in, though. I did not call in to talk baseball. I did not call in to talk Knicks.
I thought you just called in to talk about yourself. So
I called in. It's a big weekend here.
Yeah.
I need Moose's help with some bets. Moose, we got WrestleMania this weekend. So
we do.
Right now I'm looking. I think the dogs are barking big time this weekend here. Roman Reigns at plus 325 to retain against Cody Rhodes. I think that's a good bet. Charlotte plus odds plus 500. What are you gonna watch this weekend with the kids?
Gregory asked me this morning if we can. He wanted to watch wrestling. I go, well, it's WrestleMania weekend. He's like, can we get it? So I'm like, yeah. It starts Saturday. Yeah,
but it's 2 days, right?
It's 2 days. It's Saturday and Sunday. It's on the Peacock network, right?
Can I ask? Yeah. All right, so
all
maybe
I have to do is subscribe to Peacock, and I get it, right?
Yeah, and usually there's like promos and stuff. You can probably get like if you've never done it before, you could probably get a free Vision thing.
Oh, okay.
If you want to do, I don't even know who Austin Theory is.
He is this 23-year-old kid. He's kind of like the new hot shot. He's facing John Cena.
He's got nice hair.
First match of the night. So Austin Theory is favored, minus 400.
I thought you were going to ask me, Nick, about the Arkansas Derby and the Florida Derby.
The way he led with that, I thought it was going to be horses, too.
I thought we were going to talk about Derby preps. You're asking me. I do like wrestling. You're right. I do like
a show with Taz on CBS Sports
I did do a show with Taz 2 years on the mornings on CBS Sports Radio. No doubt about it. So who's your picks, Nick? Nick just dropped
So my picks here, I think Roman Reigns is going to retain. He's going to get to 1,000 days. He's facing Cody Rhodes. He's going to keep the title. Intercontinental Championship match. This is the one that your sons are going to love. Big match. 3 guys who are going to just destroy each other. Gunther, this huge Austrian.
Oh, Gunther's massive.
Yeah, he's taking on Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. That's going to be a banger. As they
big boys, yep.
Austin Theory versus John Cena. I think John Cena is actually going to lose because he's probably just here for one day. And then
John Cena follows me on social media.
I remember that. That was a big day on the show.
It was a big day for me. It was a big day. Yeah,
that is a good day.
My friend John Cena.
Yeah. Next match, you got Logan Paul. He's taking on Seth Rollins.
No, don't you have to say it right? It's Seth freaking Rollins. It says it on the graphic. Seth freaking Rollins.
That's correct. I think Seth Rollins is going to win. Logan Paul, his contract's up after Sunday. So he'll go out there, he'll promote his drink, his beverage, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Prime.
He'll come out.
Great.
Yeah, you drink.
Moose, are you into Prime?
It's great. Yeah.
Do your boys like beg you to go to the local vitamin shop and stuff to buy the? Yeah,
they love it.
Dad, can you call and find out? Did they get it yet? I'll call and find out. Yeah.
Yeah, we went the other day. They want the one that's the ice pop.
The white. Yeah, that one's good. And the white one, the mysterious one or whatever, is pretty good.
Yes, they love.
And then you can get them in the little packets now that you just mix it together.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, but the whole thing about Prime, it's coconut water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it's healthier, but
healthier.
I know it's a little. I think they have like some hidden stuff in there, but it's healthier.
Yeah,
the coconut water with some food coloring.
Yeah, very nice.
Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, I think Rey's going to lose to his son here. His son Dominic's going to be put over.
Dominic's like a jerk, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, he's Rey Mysterio is going into the Hall of Fame Friday night, so that's another thing you can watch on Peacock, the Hall of Fame. So
tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight.
It's all at SoFi.
The Hall of Fame's probably at Crypto Arena.
Okay, all right.
But everything else is at SoFi.
Nick, have you ever been to a WrestleMania?
I went to the last one at MetLife Stadium. The main event was Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte versus Becky Lynch, and that didn't start till 12 a.m. So it was a long day. But I liked it better when it was one night because now it's kind of like it's 2 nights. They're just trying to squeeze some extra money out of you to pay for both.
So, all right. So,
by the way, guys, WrestleMania in Philadelphia. So I think the 3 of us should go down there.
I'm
When
with
is
you.
that?
Next year, my boys would be so into that. Nick, you got the hookup. You can get us all tickets, front row.
Well, I actually know the former announcer of Raw, Adnan Virk. So maybe I could contact him. His former agent is kind of the boss over at WWE.
Yeah,
so
Adnan can hook us up, right?
Nick Khan, he's going to get it done for us.
I mean, we could try.
Well, listen, my co-host, Front Row Joe,
Keith, have you closed the door on that?
He's always front row at all these events, so maybe he could help us out.
I mean, maybe Joe can. I don't know. You think? All right.
I think we could find a way. We could find a way there.
What? Right. What am I missing?
Nothing.
What's going on here? Keith is he's shaking his
Keith's got all quiet. Keith.
Nope.
I have no idea what's going on.
Is Keith banned from Lincoln?
No, I can go anywhere I want. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah. That's going to be like a James Dolan scenario when you're
in
recognition. You're banned.
All right, so your best bet, we got to get to another guest, Nick, but your best bet of the weekend is what?
Best bet of the weekend is Brock Lesnar to beat the Monster Omos. And it's a no-brainer. You got to lay a lot of money on Brock Lesnar, but you're going to win.
And when do they announce if you won the award?
I think next month is the end of the voting. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Low expectations going against these meetings.
Hey, it's always an honor to be recognized. Really fast. So with Saturday night, so we got the Final Four going on. So am I going to want to multi-screen this? So I'm putting WWE like WrestleMania on one screen. Are they going on the same time?
Yes.
WrestleMania is going to be probably 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. till midnight or 11:30.
So I'm going to tail end of the first game. College and through the second one. So I'll get the 2 screens going because I'm sure my boys, and I was telling Moose, I got a house full of a bunch of 12-year-old boys coming over. So
that's one of the things.
And Moose didn't want to come over and hang out with me. So.
Get Peacock, get the free trial.
I have Peacock, by the way, if you wanted it, Moose, but you're not invited to my house anymore.
Just give me your login.
No, not doing that. Nope.
Why not? We could share.
You actually can't do that. Apparently, they put a block on that. Like I think there's only 2 people at a time that are allowed to watch.
Nick, enjoy the weekend. We gotta go.
Next time I want the challenge. Thanks, guys.
Yes, let's go.
Yes, Nick. Andre Carlisle's with us. I wonder if Andre is a big wrestling fan. It's WrestleMania weekend.
Clearly the lead question.
Well, it is. Well, yeah. I mean, but it's one of those things like you don't have to be a huge wrestling fan to just enjoy the spectacle of WrestleMania. Like it's just like one of those things. Like it's like the Super Bowl and not, but it is the Super Bowl of wrestling. Andre, Mark Malusis, Keith Arizari, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for taking the time and hopping on with us this morning. Love the hoodie you're wearing, by the way. Fantastic. Love the style. Are you going to be watching WrestleMania this weekend? At any point, will you come in contact with a TV that has wrestling on?
Unfortunately, probably not. I'm sure I'll see some stuff on the timeline, but yeah, to be honest, my wrestling days probably stopped a while ago. So like,
who was
I don't
the
even
last
know who's good
when you
anymore.
were watching wrestling, Andre? Who was the star of wrestling?
Oh my God. When I was watching, it was like the WCW versus like WWE days. Like it was
great times. The Wolfpack, the NWA, the NWO White, like the Hogan was wearing. Those were amazing times when McMahon hops on. He's like, I bought the WCW. Like it was amazing times.
Andre, you see what I'm dealing with here? He's giddy. You see this?
I was, because those were my glory days too.
Wrestling more often.
That's it.
I mean, my other full-time job, my co-host is a former WWE. I mean, Moose used to host a show with Taz. He's a WWE guy. Bettor's Eye on MLB Network. My co-host is Matt Stryker. He was a WWE superstar also, and he's turned his life into the gambling space here. So yeah, there you go. So next time you're on with us, apparently you're going to have to – actually, you know what? No, we should give you a task. You should watch WrestleMania and write an article about it.
I don't know if anybody wants that. If I'm being honest.
Amazing.
Well, Andre, let's talk about soccer and women's soccer.
He's
right?
like, yes, please.
No, yeah, exactly right. Because you cover the sport, you do podcasts on it. Part of the gaming society. Because and Keith and I'm not going to talk for Keith, but I'm not a huge soccer fan. Not that I disrespect the game. I don't watch English Premier League. I'll watch the World Cup men's and women's when it rolls around. but talk a little bit about where the women's soccer league is now and the growth of the game.
Yeah, that's a great question. And yeah, thanks for having me on. So yeah, I think right now the league is heading into its 11th season of play. It's the 10th full season. They did a miniature tournament when in 2019, 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic really hit and everything shut down. They were actually one of the first major leagues to come back. So they're pretty proud of that. But yeah, right now we're seeing just so much growth, so much excitement. You're seeing attendance. They hit attendance records this season, or this for the opener this season already, with a ton of fans going. I think there were like 30,000 additional fans over last year. So the sport is just doing like this wild, just rocket ship thing. And we don't really know exactly where it's going to go, but it's really fun to be involved with it right now and to get on board, because the players are great. And also it seems like it's kept capturing a lot of energy around the country.
How has the fight for equal pay gone in women's soccer? Because clearly when we watch USA soccer, and I know that the men did well this past year, the women are the creme de la creme. And I know they've been fighting for their rights, in monetarily at least.
Yeah, so that was a huge thing. They finally got equal pay finalized. They got it done with the federation. I think it was about last year. And that was a huge move. During that 2019 World Cup, which was the last one, we're looking forward to the next iteration in this summer. But yeah, that was a massive, massive deal. I think it was really, really important to get that done. And we've also seen it kind of spark other, teams around the world. There are issues now in Canada where the players are talking about not just equal pay, but just adequate resources. So there's a lot of different conversations that are going on. Issues in the French national team, the Spanish national team, they're all over, unfortunately. So we're kind of hoping to get to a point where the U.S. women's national team kind of led in this area, and hopefully other teams and other federations follow suit and actually get some of this stuff done to treat some of these players correctly.
What about the overall, from a United States perspective, the evolution of soccer for the American women? We know they've been a dominant force, right? We obviously have seen them on the world stage, whether it be the Olympics, whether it be World Cups and everything like that, completely different as compared to the American men who are playing catch up. But where are we in terms of the American woman superstar in the NWSL?
In terms of who that player is, or
yes.
just okay. So you'll get a lot of answers depending on who you ask from this. So there are going to be some people who still look at a player like Alex Morgan and think she's great. And she is. She actually won the Golden Boot in the NWSL last year, so scored a lot of goals, quite a few penalties. So, for me, I like a pure open play goal scorer. And for me, there's been nobody better than Sophia Smith, another attacker that plays for the U.S. Women's National Team, and Mallory Swanson. Was Mallory Pugh, but got married over the break to Dansby Swanson, who plays for the Chicago Cubs, and she's just been in outrageous form. We are in April, not even April yet. We're in March, and she already broke the number of goals that she scored for the national team last year, and she did it in like 3 games this season. So she is in outrageous form.
Who's the Brazilian player that a lot of people like in the league? That one of the front runners for the MVP?
Davinia.
Yeah, yes. I didn't know how to say the name. So talk about her a little bit.
Oh my gosh, she's incredible. She's probably, if the NWSL ever has a Hall of Fame, she's going to be the first name in it. She is outrageous. Every time she gets near the ball, dribbling, just speed, quickness of thought. She can score from pretty much anywhere on the pitch. She likes to shoot from range. She likes to shoot often. She's just one of the most exciting players to watch. She's now in Kansas City, which was a massive move. Played all of her NWSL career in North Carolina. Now with Kansas City, who it looks like they're building a super team. I'm excited to see her get on the pitch. She was injured for the opener, so we'll see if she gets on the pitch this weekend. But she is one of the most electric players in women's soccer.
All right, Andre, I love the article, the overreaction to opening weekend, right? Yeah. The Portland Thorns are going to win it all. Tell me why I'm wrong.
What I really wanted to get out there is that they faced probably the best competition they could have faced at home in their opening match, and they beat them 4-0. It was versus Orlando Pride. Orlando is a team that has kind of been in a rebuilding phase just about every year of their existence, and I think they finally got it right this offseason, but going to Portland is never an easy thing. So that was always going to be a difficult game, and Portland looked very good. They won the NWSL championship last year, but honestly, they could win it again this year. I just say it's too early to tell. So that's why I said the over-exaggeration.
Well, who's your pick to win it all this year?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot. That's
Ooh,
fine.
nice.
It's we only had 1 week of play. This is
No, I get it. But
we
there's gotta be
made
a
someone
team.
come on and pick a World Series winner like 2 days ago. All right,
Yeah,
there's
right,
162 games ahead. So.
Right. We who doesn't love predictions?
Right.
We're not going to hold your
answer.
hold your feet to the fire. Where if you end up being wrong, but who doesn't love predictions? Who do you think wins it all?
Right. So I'll give you an answer, but I want to preface the answer a little bit.
Okay.
Because I want to let people know, if they don't know, if they're not familiar with the NWSL, it is the most competitive women's domestic league in the world. Year to year, it can change so much because you got players coming in from college who have been great, players who even skip college, like Alyssa Thompson, who's with Angel City right now. She's 18 years old, scored on her opening day debut. She's outrageous. So things can change a lot. I would not be surprised if Portland won, but I'm kind of backing their rival up there from Seattle, OL Reign. I think that team is very, very well composed, and they're probably a little frustrated they didn't make the championship game last year, and they're really talented. Roosevelt plays for them. Megan Rapinoe plays for them. They're an exceptional team.
Can you gamble on NWSL? I'm looking right now in like FanDuel, DraftKings. I don't see anything.
Yeah, I think that's going to be coming, and it's going to be interesting. I don't know if you can like do it like in those like – I'll say you can probably do it in ways that you probably can't promote, but yeah, I hopefully like legitimacy is coming from that front, because there's a lot of intrigue, there's a lot of interest, and as I said, good luck trying to predict things in the NWSL. It's just very different season to season.
Andre, what brought you here to where this is what you do a fantastic job covering it? Obviously, I imagine you grew up playing soccer, a huge fan of the sport. What brought you to covering this league and covering women's soccer?
Yeah, to be honest, it was just my love for the sport. You know, I love watching soccer. I loved playing it back when I could still run. But yeah, it's been one of those sports that I love. And then you kind of look at the landscape, especially being here in America, and you say, who are the best players? You know, and you've mentioned it before. The women's team has won 4 World Cups. If they win this one in 2023, it'll be their 3rd consecutive. They won in 2015, won in 2019. You're not supposed to have that kind of dominance, but you just kind of look around and you say the players that we have the ability to watch on a weekly basis is incredible. So they're some of the best in the world, have been for a while. And now with the NWSL growing as it has, I was like, this is an awesome opportunity to just watch some of these players play week in and week out. So I was like, if I'm really into soccer, I can't be in Europe at Chelsea, or I can't be in Barcelona, you know, every weekend to watch them. So for me, I think we got the best of it from a women's soccer perspective, and that's why I cover the league.
Globally, soccer, massive.
Yeah.
Stateside. What could we be doing better to promote the game?
That's a deep question. It probably starts from kind of grassroots, where soccer isn't really thought of as a sport people play. You know, I'll be honest, I love playing, but I didn't actually play when I was in school. It took me until I was like in my 20s to realize I love this sport. That's already like nearly 2 decades behind everybody else in the world.
Not right. Kids are playing when they're 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, to interrupt, my son, my younger son, he's 8 years old. He plays in a U9 league, travel, like he's playing travel soccer and absolutely loves it. If he doesn't end up in the NBA, he wants to be playing, you know, professional soccer. Like those are the 2 things he talks about all the time. So I think there's a passion for him that'll continue. So like, how do we make a kid like him fall in love with some of the men and the women that are playing pro sports and want to be those guys and those gals?
Yeah, I think it's the accessibility of the game has gotten so much better. And so now you can watch some of the best players in the league, because that's really what drew me in when I was able to like get introduced to the sport to play. But then I saw people who could actually play the sport well, a lot better than, you know, people at my rec league. It was fun to watch. And then I was like, okay, this is kind of outrageous. This sport is incredible. And so then you kind of get the passion from the fan bases and the arguments. And then it's got its own culture. And then you follow it on into the world stage and World Cup. And I just really don't think there's any other sport that's really like it in terms of like the global passion behind it. And so I think it's just finding connection points to that is what's going to do it. So of course, for me, that's watching games when they're on TV. It's going to games live. I think that is a huge part of soccer. Going to games live is really, really fun. And you get to do more than just like follow the ball. You can see how outrageous some of the players are running around on the pitch. And I think Trinity Rodman is one, like I cover Washington Spirit. She is one of the best players in the league already. She just turned 20. And when you go to a game and you watch her, you will be amazed at all the stuff she does, even when she doesn't have the ball. She is just a phenomenal athlete and a phenomenal player. So I think it's just getting familiar and getting used to that and seeing that live with their own eyes. And I think it'll start to grow.
Yeah, very similar to kind of hockey because I don't think watching it on TV really does its service about the speed of the game and watching plays develop and just watching the overall, the overall talent and athletic ability of the athlete, whether it be on the pitch or on the ice. Andre, I have one more for you, and because people ask me this question and I don't really have an answer, so I'll ask you. And I'd like to sound intelligent talking about soccer, so I'll ask somebody that knows soccer backwards and forward.
Ask him the question, right? And then you can go to your friends and act like it came from you. Perfect.
Well, that's it. I'll be like, oh, of course.
At least you're upfront about it. I'm good.
Well, that's exactly right. But why are the men, American men, so far behind the women when you look at the global stage? Like, why is it when you look at the American women, they have been a dominant force in women's soccer? When you look at the American men, it's not even close. Like, they're not close to England, Portugal, France. I mean, there's got to be like 8, 9, 10 nations that are ahead of the United States when it comes to soccer. Why the disparity there between where the United States women's program is compared to the men's?
2 answers for you on that one. One, surface level. So American football and basketball basically get the best athletes in that sport very early. So, and it's not one of those things they're like, what if LeBron James played soccer? Because you need a lot more, a lot of a different kind of footwork is required from an early age to be able to pick up all the nuances of the sport. So you're already at a disadvantage if you get into soccer when you're, 12, 11, 10 even. Academies over in Europe have kids, there are kids who have signed for Chelsea that have been in the Chelsea setup since they were 6 or 8 years old. So that's also a thing. But underneath all that, it's also the pay-to-play model in the U.S., unfortunately. It really restricts a lot of the talent. This is a giant country. We have a lot of talent. If we had academies that didn't cost a ton of money, if we had the resources and the ability to go out and find talents to develop them, and also the coaching ability to develop them the way that other countries do, then we'd be good. We grow, and you'd see that. So you see some players who have gone over to Europe, U.S. born players who have gone over to Europe grow into the game. You've seen Pulisic as well. You've seen Musa as well for the U.S. men's national team. Like, these are players that went over to Europe to kind of follow that passion, but they have to do it there as opposed to doing it here. If we get them to do it here, you'll see the gap shrink. If we keep doing it as we're doing it, it'll still shrink. It'll just shrink slowly, much slower, like it's doing right now. But the women's team, the women's game, women can play. It's kind of the thing that women's like athletes do. They either play soccer or they're softball or something. So they're in the sport from a much earlier age. And now there are routes to be able to stay in it. So through college and now the NWSL. So it's just a matter of when somebody's introduced to the sport and when they start and how long they can keep playing it. So that to me is the biggest difference.
Now I can sound smart.
Yeah.
Now I can sound smart. There you go. Andre, you're great, man. Don't be a stranger. Would love to get you on again, talk a little soccer, talk about the NWSL and continued success and keep it up. All right.
Perfect. Thank you. And I'll brush up on my wrestling for next time.
Hey, there you go.
I love The Rock, by the way. My favorite wrestler of all time. Who doesn't love The Rock? Andre, thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
You got it. We'll come back. Let's talk a little Final Four. I know the people. I'll never forget when I saw The Rock at the War Memorial, Syracuse, New York, when I was a student up at with the Orange. It was great.
If you can smell what Vin Parisi is cooking.
I think Vin's in Houston. I think, is Vin in Houston? He might be in Houston. Or maybe that's his office.
I don't know. He's sipping on tea probably, though.
He is. He gave out. He quit.
Big tea guy now.
Well, yeah, he quit coffee.
Yeah.
Right? That's it.
And he got very, very like upscale. Did you know? Have you spoken to him lately? He speaks with an accent a little bit now sometimes. I texted with him to ask
him how he was feeling because the last time he was supposed to come on, he was taking himself to emergency care. Yeah. So he's feeling better now. We'll get into it. Vin Parisi will join us. Fox. He knows NCAA basketball. You want winners, we'll get winners. Breakdown of the Final Four, San Diego State, FAU, UConn, Miami. We'll do that next. Moose and Keith with you on a Friday right here, Bettor Sports Network.
Talk sports with Lisa Ann and Rick Kamla Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Bettor Sports Network.
Let me say something about Tiger. Tiger has had to redesign his entire swing. Tiger has a difference in the length of his legs because of that horrible accident. In golf, there's no hey, you can't walk the greens. You have to take a cart. So I assumed by day 3 on Sunday, the inflammation would start. He took a couple breaks where they take care of his back a little bit. But it is fascinating watching him. So it gave me this thought, is he that skilled at golf? Or is this a mental thing of dedication and determination? He is so dedicated to the sport that no matter what, he's relentless to it. And the dedication and determination goes to the golf, the swing, the playing, the walking, but it goes to his overall health. The average person who doesn't stay in great shape, gets in an accident like that, goes through multiple surgeries, is not recovering and going out there to walk. And that course has some pretty steep inclines, a lot of walking. How else can you factor these athletes, the Michael Jordans, the LeBrons, these players that their whole focus is really optimal health, optimal body skills, and then what comes next is being the best at what they do.
I think you just hit on why Tiger still has that drive. I don't know this. I don't know the man. It could just be love of the game. It could be, I want to make as much money as I can while playing. Could be all this stuff. But LA, a lot of people think Tiger Woods is the GOAT of golf. And I don't understand how you can be the GOAT of golf when you are 3 majors short of Jack Nicklaus. Okay? So, LeBron, I don't think he cares what guys like me say anymore, right? He's past Kareem. He thinks he's the GOAT. He's 3rd on my list. He's in the debate. Many other people think he's the GOAT. He's not my GOAT. You know what I mean? So I wonder if Tiger is there, like LeBron, I don't care what the pundits, what the barbershops say. I'm the GOAT. I don't have to do anything more. This is all gravy. I wonder if Tiger looks at it that way.
I don't know what Tiger's mindset is in the GOAT status, but when players talk about what it's like to be at a tournament, when Tiger's playing versus when he's not, they'll tell you that they're on the greens and they can hear the roar 4 holes over, and that there is nothing that compares to the excitement of when he's present.
Bettor Sports Live, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, exclusively on Bettor Sports Network. Or listen whenever you want on the app with BSN On Demand.
West Side, bad boy. You know
Moose and Keith on Bettor Sports Network.
All right, you want hoops knowledge? Well, let's welcome aboard the great Vin Parisi. Joins us now, Fox. He knows the Big East, knows NCAA tournament basketball. Are you down in Houston, Vin?
No, I'm not, sir. I am doing all of my TV studio stuff and radio stuff out of the metropolitan area. I did travel with the UConn Huskies last time for SMY in 2014, but I am local in the Big Apple near you, gentlemen, this weekend.
Do you even know that you won us about a week and a half ago? I don't know if I worded that correctly, but do you know?
No, talk to me.
What? All right, so your social media.
I don't even know what.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know this.
I like talking in circles. So your social media, you're a good follow. Make sure everyone follows Vin Parisi. But you posted a video of you talking with Danny Hurley, and at the end of it, you brought up Musselman. And you talked about, the body, and it got into manscaping.
The Husky fans like that one.
Yeah. Did you have any inclination that he was going to go that route, talking about manscaping and stuff?
No, and the SID was horrified.
Sure.
If you would have saw their face, and what happened there, Moose, was about 4 hours before Danny got that big win with the Huskies, was when Eric Musselman's shirt came off. So my final question, as 19 other networks were waiting to talk to Danny, was, Coach, is there any chance in Vegas in this matchup with Arkansas that your shirt would come on? And Danny talked about the fact that he was not prepared, the fact that he's losing hair on his head, hair is growing in other areas now a lot faster. He gave Musselman props on his waxing and detailed manscaping, and he was going to have to get himself ready for Vegas. And so, obviously me and Danny going back 25 years to the basketball camp days in Jersey helped there, because a lot of people were surprised that I was willing to go there, but Husky fans had fun retweeting it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they did. And it's interesting because if you don't know and you're not of that generation, the Hurley name, his dad, obviously a legendary coach, produced a number of Division I players coming out of St. Anthony's before that program ended up, no longer existing. His brother Bobby, who's now the head coach of Arizona State, and just got an extension. Legendary player at Duke, and was drafted in the first round by Sacramento, and then had a car accident. Danny was, not as good as his brother Bobby, maybe a little bit more troubled at Seton Hall. But Danny Hurley was a guy that was a really good college basketball player as well. So you think about what a championship would mean Monday night for just the legacy of the Hurley name, given what they've done for basketball in general in the tri-state area and throughout the country.
Yeah, no, you're right, Moose. And I was lucky and fortunate to grow up in Jersey in the business. My first 4 years out of school, working as a GA and video coordinator at FDU and Rutgers, was in the state of New Jersey. 1 year at FDU, 3 at Rutgers, and it was when Danny had left Rutgers and went to St. Benedict's to start his high school career. Bobby's playing career was over, and he was owning horses, scouting for the Sixers, and it's an unbelievable story because Bobby wasn't a good player. He was a lottery pick. He was a great. He's one of the greatest point guards in college basketball history, and now Danny in his shadows as a player. Now Bobby's in his shadows from a coaching standpoint. And just growing up and watching Bob Sr. and being able to go to St. Anthony's practices, I say all the time, and I've been around some big-time guys in the sport, the 3 coaches who I've absolutely learned the most basketball from, obviously other than my bosses and who I worked for, but from just observing in a practice setting or a clinic setting on the floor between the lines with the whistle around their necks is Larry Brown, Rick Pitino, and Bob Hurley Sr. Running a basketball practice. And this is unbelievable, and it's really unbelievable for the Connecticut brand, what could take place in Houston this weekend, because now you're talking about the potential for a 5th, multiple championships, multiple head coaches, and now UConn obviously is mentioned amongst any blue blood in this sport.
Bob Hurley Sr. was awesome. I can go back to my Cablevision local programming and like MSG days when Mike Quick would take us over there. Again, if you're in the New York tri-state area, you know what that means. Pretty cool there. All right, so let's break that game down. UConn, Miami. There are, future NBA players on both sides of this. You've got 2 excellent coaches. Give me 2 or 3 things that are sticking out to you that you're really paying attention to.
Well, here's the thing. First off, obviously UConn's the favorite. I mean, let's just start off with that. I mean, it's Connecticut's tournament, meaning this little, 4-team tournament. It's Connecticut's Final Four and championship to lose and to win. Miami's not a good offensive team. Miami is a great offensive team. And whether you want to talk about the ACC Player of the Year, Isaiah Wong, whether you want to talk about Nigel Pack, whether you want to talk about the way Jordan Miller played against Texas. Remember, this is a team that hit 2 3-pointers against Texas, and they beat you slashing, they beat carving you up, they beat you with high screen and roll downhill action, in transition on the break shooting, they rebounded offensively. They are dynamic. And when you look at the fact that everyone across the board felt that Houston was the best defense in the country, and 3 teams cracked 70 twice on Houston this year, they almost put up 100 points. They put up 89 against Houston. But my thing about this one is it's nothing against Miami. It's everything Connecticut. And Adama Sanogo has looked better and better. His passing against Gonzaga was ridiculous. Jordan Hawkins is the best pure shooting guard in college basketball right now. And then when you throw in the best glue guy and X factor in the country in Andre Jackson, who truly is, a lot of people say it, he truly is like a point forward. And the fact that he has 31 assists and 6 turnovers in this tournament so far is ridiculous. And then you have a 7'2" clinging when he goes to the bench. And this is the best offensive rebounding team in the country. And they defend the heck out of you. They made Gonzaga look like they were not an elite offensive team. It's unbelievable. So I don't know a box that the Huskies don't check right now. And that's what I keep coming back to in my mind, guys.
Well, fair, Vin, then people are going to look at it and say they weren't watching UConn all season long, being like, how the hell were they a 4 seed then? Like what?
Well, here's what happened. And
what went wrong?
Great question.
How are
great question.
They're going through this tournament like they're like Larry Johnson and UNLV. How exactly are they a 4 seed?
Yeah, and I've been texting and talking with Danny about this for like the last 2 months. We had a long talk about it, especially the week of the Big East tournament in the Big Apple, and then when they were up in Albany against Iona. Listen, if you look at the top 5 to 10 teams in the country right now, everybody's got 5, 6, 7, 8 losses, regardless. If you were to just compile all the records, what happened with UConn was all of theirs came within 3.5 weeks. So they start off 14-0. They're one of the top teams in the country. They then lose 6 out of 8, and now they are 13-2 in their last 15. So you want to talk about playing your best basketball at the same time. Here's what happened. They had a couple of tough conference matchups. They laid an egg at home against St. John's. It always happens once or twice a year, no matter how good you are. They had a COVID outbreak in the locker room. Danny Hurley didn't coach one of the games. So they had these 3 weeks of hell, but the tools didn't change. The pieces to the puzzle didn't change. And whether you want to talk about Sonogo in the paint, whether you want to talk about Hawkins, he's got future pros, but they also have the grit and the grind of any good college hoops team. You've seen this last decade in the tournament. So you got to judge UConn on the last 6 weeks.
All right, so it's a betting network, and I'm not telling you to talk in betting lingo here, but you just spoke very highly of UConn, right? And we also know that Miami is a great offensive team. Give me a reason why bettors out there could back the Hurricanes. Is there a reason? Listen, if you say no.
No, it's a great question, because unlike some other teams in the tournament that we saw get bounced early, Jim Larinaga's club do not just settle for jumpers and perimeter shots on the perimeter. Like I said, they came back against 13 down in the second half versus Texas and 2 3-pointers made for the game. You never see that in a double-digit comeback at a Sweet 16 Elite 8 level type game. They are constantly coming at you. So what could happen potentially is, because of the way the Hurricanes come at you and are aggressive offensively and get paint touches from their guards, you could get a Klinging and a Dama Sonogo and Andre Jackson into early foul trouble. And now all of a sudden there's more pressure on a Jordan Hawkins on the perimeter, more pressure from a Calcaterra standpoint. And now that would work in the Miami Hurricanes' favor with the scenario you bring up, Keith.
All right, how does this game look if Miami wins? If Miami were to pull off the upset, and they're only a 5.5-point dog going into the game, but say they pull off the upset, then how would that game look like from your perspective? Is it Sonogo in foul trouble early? Is it Nigel Pack and Wong and Miller?
Yeah, I think it would have to be. I think it would have to be a dynamic that doesn't come up in a scoring column, like what you're talking about, a Sonogo in foul trouble, an Andre Jackson, or a Klinging or Caravan getting flustered. I also think it would have to be cold shooting from Jordan Hawkins, because
that's what I was going to ask you. Can they survive a game in which Hawkins pulls a Brandon Miller?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Hawkins usually always bounces back immediately when it happens. Like, Iona did play the game of their lives in the first half against them, but Hawkins was a non-factor in the first half against Iona, and then all of a sudden he wakes up in the second half. It would have to be ice cold shooting. Now, take this into account, guys. This is not like what you've seen thus far. When you're at a Final Four, you're in a gigantic stadium dome. It's 70,000 fans. There's the depth perception factor, like the Carrier Dome. You're up on a big stage. The benches are below. The game slows down. It's not up and back frenetic pace. So I'm never surprised in these venues when you see like an under type score, or you see it get grinded out more into half court basketball. Here's the thing. I think that style and flow favors Connecticut a lot more than it does Miami.
All right, you've known the Hurleys for a long time, so I think we can have fun with this. So Sunday, April 9th, that's Easter Sunday, right? Let's go under the assumption UConn wins the national championship on Monday night, and all of the Hurleys get together for Easter Sunday. You've got Bob Sr., who is arguably the greatest high school coach of all time. You got Bobby, who won national championships at Duke and did play in the NBA. And then you'd have Danny, a national champion coach. Who has the biggest bragging rights?
Well, I'll tell you what, they'll all be speaking up at the table because that'll be a separate staff meeting, separate from the one that Danny's having with associate head coach Kamani Young and the rest of his coaching staff. Listen, I know for a fact, and I know it well, Danny and Bobby talk like 5 to 10 times per day, and Danny leans on his dad in a big time way. So, I mean, you don't get any better if you're talking about brainstorming or trying to get ready for an upcoming opponent. It doesn't hurt when your dad's in the Hall of Fame and your brother's one of the best point guards to ever play the game.
All right. So you like UConn in the second game. What about the first game, FAU and San Diego State, which is small margin, flip of the coin? There's nothing not to like about what the Owls have done. I mean, they've won 35 games this year.
Yeah,
of the 38 games they played. Yeah.
Yeah, and Elijah Martin obviously is playing like he's had stretches in this tournament where he's played like a pro. Vlad Golden's that interior presence. They're a fascinating team. Obviously, they've shown that it doesn't hurt when the 1 seed gets bounced. Then you don't have to play them after the 8-9 game in the second round, like with the Purdue debacle against FDU. But look at what they did when they hit the Big Apple, obviously, against Tennessee and Kansas State. They are like a throwback, and I don't know, an anomaly that you're going to see the next few years because of the portal and all of this movement. I mean, you're talking about 8 or 9 guys that Dusty May could play any combination. They have the ability to switch everything. You're talking about 4 guys that average 13 points or more. You're talking about a team that rebounds it, hits big shots, defends the heck out of you. They're better than, being in the 8 or 9 game. They've shown that. They've played this type of style before. And what I mean is the style of San Diego State, which we'll get into because North Texas, who just won the NIT, is in their league, and they play a slow it down, grind you out style. I just think you're going to see San Diego State push through because if you saw and you guys watch those defensive possessions, I called Big East games the entire year, multiple Creighton games. I have never seen a ball club do that to Creighton, what they did last weekend defensively.
Yeah, they look like a football team on the basketball court.
Yeah, yes. I've been saying that all week in interviews. They look like they got NFL tight ends and fullbacks out there. They bump every cutter. They cross-check every cross screen. They hand-check every possession. It's almost like the old-school Georgetown John Thompson Sr. theory is if you foul every single possession, they can't foul everybody
can't call
out.
Them all.
And they can't call them all. But they literally commit to that. And then when you talk about San Diego State's depth, I mean, you got Matt Bradley averages 13 points per game, and then you got 7 guys that average between 6 and 12. It's ridiculous. And talk about the depth that San Diego State has. Brian Dutcher in the final second. You're talking about Bradley, who, guys, is a 2,000-point scorer in college. He doesn't have him on the floor when the season's on the line last time. That's how deep they go. I just think elite defense, when you get to now, will take away from the offense of FAU. I think it's a great historical run, but I think you're going to see that senior strength. They're all seniors. They're all upperclassmen. They're grown men. I think that's going to be too much to overcome defensively. And by the way, they have no problem offensively winning the game 47-45. You want to talk about taking an under.
Yeah. All right. So then if you're leaning San Diego State, if it were San Diego State versus UConn in the national championship, how does that play out?
I think that you could see the game be scored a little bit lower. I think that you could see UConn maybe have to grind it out a little bit more and not get a lot of easy ones up and down. But as much as I am a fan of, say, San Diego State defensively, and as much as I love the way that they grind it out at both ends, I just think the talent of UConn is going to shine through. The chemistry of UConn is going to shine through. How hard Danny gets these kids to rebound and play defense and do the intangibles and dive on the floor for loose balls, because Danny's out there diving with them. And I just think that Jordan Hawkins, Sonogo, and Andre Jackson, the talent in the end is going to win out. But I think that UConn edges San Diego State by 6 or 7 Monday night in Houston.
Vin, I got 2 for you. One on UConn, and then one I want to ask you about Patino and St. John's. First on UConn. If I pose it to you this way, would you be stunned if the Huskies don't win the national championship Monday night?
No. And not just because
that's the way it's being painted. Like they're just, like So if they don't win Monday night, you wouldn't be stunned?
No, not at all. It's being painted that way, Moose, is because you have new invites to the dance. You know, you don't have a Villanova, you don't have a North Carolina, you don't have a Duke, you don't have a Gonzaga. I think that, not to take away from what UConn's accomplished, because they are the last man standing. I think it's because of the unknowns in this tournament that the media is getting caught up in that a little bit. I'm talking purely from a scouting report, assumption of personnel on the floor. Creighton had a shot to win that basketball game, but UConn has a different level of interior and offensive talent than a Creighton. I mean, I love Kalkbrenner. I love
Great
the weapons.
Speech by McDermott after the game.
Yes, I love the weapons that they have on the perimeter. But Jordan Hawkins and Andre Jackson
are just
can
different.
do things on the perimeter that Creighton can't. That being said, UConn has not been invincible. This is not 2012 John Calipari's Kentucky Wildcats with Anthony Davis. I mean, they could come out and lay an egg from three-point line. Something could happen with Sonogo. He could be thrown off of his game. They could turn the basketball over, and San Diego State maybe plays out of their mind and shoots the lights out Monday night. I don't think anybody, the way this tournament has gone, the fact that we have no 1 seeds, no 2 seeds, no 3 seeds. It's like we talked about. As much as we love the upsets, you look at the last 20 years, 82% of the field's been 1s and 2s.
Yes.
The fact that this thing has been wide open because of the portal, because of transfers, because of the margin and the parity being leveled, but more importantly, with San Diego State, it's the defense, the physicality, the strength, and the depth. I don't think people should be shocked at all if UConn was to lose this one.
Vin, just the overall vibe, and you know him well. I don't, and that is Pitino's going for blood, is he not, with St. John's now? Is he just
prisoners?
I mean, is he sleeping at all? I mean, he's gonna try and rip NCAA Division I basketball a new one.
No, I'll tell you what, it is. First off, I've been to a lot of press conferences. I haven't been at a press conference and seen that much juice in action when he got announced at Madison Square Garden. And then you talk to guys that go to press conferences all the time, like Bruce Beck and Otis Livingston. They're like, my God, look at the amount of people. I mean, you would have thought this was like Jeter retiring press conference. I mean, the juice that day was cooking. But how about the momentum in the last 2 weeks since then? I mean, the coaching staff and from the communication that I've had with the coaching staff, the portal possibilities, the transfer possibilities, the recruiting and roster possibilities for next year are crazy. And they have a commitment from Joel Soriano, who's going to be, I think, one of the better big men in the country next year, not just the Big East. And now you have Soriano that has 6 months to work with Rick Pitino from an individual skill development standpoint, and a new strength and conditioning program coming in. And now this style and how their conditioning is going to change with the full court pressure. They're going to play more games at Madison Square Garden. I mean, the Big East and all of us obviously at Fox are juiced for this next year. But I'm with you, Moose. I mean, it has been full guns ablazing, and they've been hitting the pavement. They're at multiple schools every single day, and it's going to be fun to follow.
Vin, you're awesome. We appreciate it. Thanks for cutting out time. Glad you're feeling better.
Just so you know, we are still teabagging, and Easter is 9 days away, and we are ready for the coffee and Java soon, my man. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I gave up coffee for lunch.
Yes, you did.
Vin
gave up coffee, and he's been he's been teabagging for the last some odd days during the Lindsay. Vin, thank you.
Thanks,
Keith.
guys.
We don't hear you, Keith. Your volume's off.
All right, good. There you go.
Maybe that's a good thing.
I felt bad because Keith was saying something. We weren't responding to him. I was like,
yeah, but you know what, Moose? It opened it up more for me and you. And I like that.
I got missed calls on my phone right here. I muted my mic for a second just to see what was going on here. I don't know. I think Pitino was just calling me to get that guy Parisi off the screen.
And send my love to my man Ernie Acosta, my favorite producer in the world.
There you go.
You got it, Vin.
Thanks,
Love you,
guys.
brother. We'll come
Later,
back.
Vin.
And we'll head to Vegas. Dave Sharpan will join us. Get thoughts of Mr. Vegas. I want to get a little feel for the meet and greet with JJ that he had yesterday as well, and get his thoughts on the Final Four and opening day in Major League Baseball. That comes your way next. It's Moose and Keith with you on a Friday right here, Bettor Sports Network.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray. Weekdays at noon Eastern, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
I just opened my inbox, and there was a little connection to a story at the local paper about salad bars are coming back to St. Louis. We haven't had them since COVID, Ray. I'm a big salad bar guy. I love going to the local grocery mart and doing a salad bar. I get it. It's kind of disgusting. Hell, they put a sneeze guard over the food.
What is this? Some kind of force field around these vegetables. That's the sneeze guard. You have to lean under it to get salad or sneeze on stuff.
But all these disappeared. Ray, I used to hit the salad bar probably at least 2 times a week for lunch. And I would just load up, because I didn't have to cut anything. And I didn't have to buy like a whole cucumber, just have a little bit of cucumber in my salad. I'm a big salad bar guy, but these things have been gone for 3 years. And I think I'm going to get back into the salad bar game, baby.
I used to love buffets and salad bars and all that kind of stuff, and I haven't been to one since COVID. I'll tell the story quickly. My nephew, who at the time I want to say was 5, we were on a little trip, and we went to, it was a brunch and everything like that. They had ice cream. So my nephew doesn't know any better because he's 5. Puts his spoon in the ice cream, which is cool, right? He's going to spoon it out, fine. But he doesn't spoon it out into his bowl. He spoons it into his mouth and then sticks it back in the ice cream. And I'm like, so we had to talk to the manager. I had to get him to pull the ice. And I started thinking to myself, you look around, people are,
yeah, I don't think that 5-year-old germs wasn't going to hurt anybody.
No, but you know what I mean. Then you look at this old person and they're grabbing this. It's just, when you start thinking about it, I have a real struggle at this point with it now because I've thought about it, but I used to love going to them previously.
Well, and everybody's using the tongs there. Everybody's touching those. God knows where those hands have been.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've yet to see anybody actually sneeze under the sneeze guard. Maybe if I see that, Ray, it'll change my whole outlook.
Right? It's like
there is a reason the sneeze guard is there. It must happen enough that somebody said, we got to put these suckers in.
Yeah.
But I love salad bars, and I'm back in, Ray. I've never gotten sick off one, so it's easy for me to say, but I'm getting back in the salad bar game.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Bettor Sports Network. Moose and Keith on Bettor Sports Network.
It is Final Four tomorrow night. Major League Baseball opening day yesterday. It's a beautiful Friday. Moose and Keith with you. Sharapan, we're going to head out to Vegas here momentarily. Dave is going to join Keith and myself and got into a little NBA. We didn't hit upon, though, Keith, the message that was sent last night by the Boston Celtics, which was clear and decisive against the Milwaukee Bucks. Is, Tatum had himself an evening. They were brilliant, and they overcome, I would say, a team that was kind of hit and miss for the last 2 or 3 weeks when you look at the Boston Celtics trying to play catch up in that Eastern Conference to try and regain that number 1 spot in the East.
I think the Boston Celtics needed this. I actually don't think this was as big of a deal for the Milwaukee Bucks. I think you look at the Bucks and they know what they are. They just had the Drew Holiday 51-point game. They just had the Giannis triple-double and that big dunk that he had the other night. The Boston Celtics have had a very uneven second half of the season. They've had, players going in and out of their lineups from time to time. And I think they needed this not to prove to the Bucks or even like the world, just to prove to themselves, like, we're still the big bad Celtics and we can still do this. And there's a reason why at the All-Star break, a lot of people thought we were the best team in basketball, and even the books, right? Like, the Celtics were the odds-on favorite at the All-Star break to be the NBA champions. They're no longer that, but they wanted to prove that they are.
Keith, and you and I are kind of looking at the same exact way, felt the same thing. We've been doing a show together for the last, 7 months plus, whatever it is. And, I felt like game to regain. We talk about, and you talk about with your kids a lot. You know, I've coached that with my kids as well, is gaining confidence. I know it's kind of tough to say when you're looking at professional athletes, right? But confidence can go, you know, regardless of age. I think they need a confidence builder to kind of a little bit of that mojo, and I think that's really what the Bucks. I think that victory's for them, and because of who it went up against, how dominant their victory was. And it was kind of one of those statement games where not only is it a big win over Milwaukee, but how impressive they looked, gain a little bit more of that confidence back. So I think that's all positive.
Confidence is huge. Confidence. Listen, like talent is great, and you need the talent, but extremely important as well. The guy that's coming up next has a lot of confidence.
He does. He's decked out wearing his Pirates gear, which is like bringing me back to the days of when the Cobra.
We are family.
Now we're talking.
When the Cobra, Dave Parker.
Yeah.
Who's your closer? Kent Tekulve?
Yes. Yes.
He used to wear the glasses, right?
He wore the glasses. He had a big wad of red man or something on his side of his mouth. It made it look like he wasn't going to be able to even make it to
I
the
miss
mound.
those days when I know it's a disgusting habit, but I never chewed tobacco. But the point being is that when you used to look at guys and they'd have that big wad on the side of their mouth.
You know, D-Row was talking about that on MLB Central this morning, that one of the things that he's noticed about the young professional athletes now are they don't chew tobacco and do that kind of stuff. Like he said it was a rite of passage for us when we were kids and like not kids, but we were young baseball players. And he even said, I hate to say that I did it and it's a disgusting thing that I did, but these kids, as he called them now, they don't. Like their bodies really are their temples.
Yes and no. There's a lot of guys doing it in the minor leagues. There's a lot of guys that are doing it.
And maybe that's why they're stuck there.
Okay. Oh,
all right.
No, but I think it's just the way. I think it's a year-round thing with the amount of money that athletes make. You know, they are taking care of their bodies. Not everybody. I wouldn't say everybody is quit tobacco, but
right.
I wouldn't say it's not nearly as prevalent as it was 20 or 30 years ago.
Oh, I mean, they had to do something. There was now they're drinking protein shakes and, they're doing all this other stuff, eating clean like Keith and all these other things. Not that there's anything wrong with that either.
Not on Tuesday, though. I didn't tell you about my dinner on Tuesday. I'm just interrupting you for fun. Yeah.
That's okay. No. Yeah. That's good.
This is what we do, right?
Yeah. It's fine. Do you know what Kent Tekulve's entrance music was?
I have no idea.
Rubber Band Man.
Because he bounced back?
Who sang Rubber Band Man?
Rubber Band Man. I don't know. I can look it up right now, but it was
that by a Hall of Fame group or band, or was that like
I don't know
who let the dogs out?
Disco era Rubber Band Man.
I never even.
I'm thinking bands will make them dance. Bands will make them dance. That's what I was thinking.
You've heard that? You've heard of that song, Keith?
No. I just upgraded it.
No.
Wait, I'm going to look this up. Rubber Band
Man.
Yeah. Sharapan. So Tuesday night, Jody was out with teachers. They did a little go out for some drinks and dinner, right?
Yeah.
And so I took Austin and Alex out for dinner. We went to this local place called Bar Grazie. Lots of TVs, lots of crazy foods and all that kind of stuff.
Of course.
Waitress comes over, nice waitress. She's, oh, hi, how are you guys doing? I think she was excited to see, me with my sons, like three, boys just hanging out, right?
Yeah.
And I say to her, I'm like, I think we might have the easiest order in the history of orders food. She goes, oh, let's see if you win, right? So we end up, all three of us order the exact same thing. We got the truffle cheese smash burger, is what they call it, with truffle fries. The three of us, all the exact same thing. It was so good.
Sounds so good.
Wow.
So good.
I didn't even eat breakfast or anything yet. That does sound good.
And then we got dessert too.
Really?
Yeah, I got the chocolate pudding. Did you guys, because we all grew up in different areas. Did you guys have the icebox, chocolate pudding icebox? Did anybody ever make that for you guys?
No.
No.
Do you know what it is or no?
No.
I've had chocolate pudding pie.
Yeah, but so the icebox is a little bit different. So icebox is chocolate pudding, graham cracker, chocolate pudding, graham cracker, chocolate pudding, graham cracker. It's like 6 to 8 layers of this kind of thing. You can go anywhere from
I've never had that. That sounds
anywhere
amazing.
from 3 to like 6 layers. And what it is the graham cracker gets almost like mushy in the middle. So you have to like it. Like it has to be your thing. And my mother used to make it when I was a kid. And I haven't had that in God knows how long. And they had it there. And the waitress was like swiping through, showing us the desserts. And I'm like, yes, yes, please. It was awesome.
Oh man!
And then I ran.
Can we please stop talking about food? I'm like, really hungry.
Yeah, we're gonna have to confirm with Linda.
I'm like dieting. I'm like really hungry. The smash burger truffle thing, cheeseburger sounds great.
Are you on the program?
I am. Yes, I've lost 9 pounds in the last 2 weeks.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
That's what all my co-hosts are doing. Stryker ended up losing like 10 pounds in the offseason.
Yeah, I'm losing. I got to lose weight.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I gotta cut the weight off.
I rub off on people.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that and like the doctor, my doctor was like, Dr. Kierka, she's great. It was like, it's go time.
It's go.
I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you need to lose weight. I'm
okay.
Like, well, because it's just and she's blunt and she's honest. I love her and she's amazing. But it's like, yeah, okay, I've got to lose weight. Like, I don't want anything to happen negatively.
Yeah.
Not that I got any kind of diagnosis or it's just that she's like, unless you want to have like problems in your 50s and like you need to lose weight. I go, no, I don't want problems. She goes, then lose weight.
Yeah. Dave will appreciate this. 2 good things come out of losing weight. Okay. Yes. 1, health, right? Clearly health.
Yeah.
2, Moose. Let's say you were to lose like 20 pounds. You get to get a whole new wardrobe. How fun is that? Suits, everything. You get to go fully like, and Donna can't get mad at you for that. She's like, no, you're on television. You need to look good. And honey, you've lost 20 pounds. You look amazing.
But I think I want to get down. I want to get down to a point where you lose the weight and then you're set there before you go to the whole new wardrobe.
It's kind of
probably
important.
smart.
That's a big deal, actually.
Right?
Yeah. I don't like getting rid of the old clothes. That's a big problem that I have. I have a lot of nice suits that from back in the day that are probably still could work, but they don't. I'm not good at getting rid of the old stuff. That's the problem with getting the new stuff.
Well, like the double-breasted stuff actually started coming back a little bit. So you could, if it fits you, you could rock that again.
That's why the uniforms and all these other jerseys and all this, they never go out of style.
Yeah.
No, they never do.
And they bring back such illicit memories. You wear something, and no matter where you're at, it's unbelievable. Yesterday, I had the most unbelievable experience, and it came because somebody was wearing something. So you guys, you know JJ Jastrzemski.
We were going to ask you all about this. Yes, you know that Moose turned down going to Vegas for the bachelor party. Moose was invited. That's a fact.
The show's over. If I'd have known that was even an offer,
I was not invited. I'm not tight with JJ like that.
No, he called. Well, it wasn't like I didn't get like
he sent like a dove, like doves and stuff.
Knock on my door with like the golden envelope, and it was like no. He called.
You've gotten the ticket.
He texted me. He's like, hey, by the way, going out to Vegas. This was like a month and a half ago. We're going out to Vegas for my bachelor party. All guys are signed up already. That would love you to make it if you can make it. And I was like, okay. And talked with Donna. It just I can't get out there. I just couldn't get out there.
I would have talked to Donna for you. I mean, listen.
Donna was all for it. Donna was like, you should go.
Oh, you had to pass and you didn't use it?
Donna would. No, Donna's not like that. See, like my wife's like, yeah, go play golf. But I'm like, I don't want to go take a Saturday and spend 5 hours on a public course to go play around a golf like that.
Yeah, Moose, you and I are the same way with that. Like Jody will tell me, go do something to it. I'm like, yeah, but then I'm going to miss this or that. I'm good.
Yeah. And so like, I don't want to, I want to be here based on our schedules. I want to be around the boys as much as I possibly can. So I decide not to go, but he's got like 31 guys going. Are you going to the Carbone dinner?
I don't know yet. Probably.
You should. He's got like 30 plus guys going to this Carbone dinner.
I know. There's a lot.
If you if you go, let me just tell you, you're going to meet. There's a guy that you're going to meet there, right? That is that I know went out there. His name is Anthony. We call him the Greek, or I call him the Greek, right?
Right.
A guy that I used to work with at SNY off the air. He now does insurance and stuff like that. Great guy.
Yeah.
Just make sure to say hello to Anthony from Syosset. That's who he calls from.
Syosset. Are we allowed to, if Dave goes, can we have him as our like mole or whatever, our informant? We were trying to figure out how much we think that dinner is going to be.
Yeah, so it's 30 guys at Carbone. How much do you think that dinner would cost?
I mean, are they drinking too?
We assume so. And we assume dessert and appetizers.
Yes. I don't know how heavy they'll go dessert. I would imagine drinks, appetizers, dinner.
I mean, is somebody picking up the check or is everybody paying for themselves?
No, I think
I'm sure they'll split it 29 ways. Like JJ, if JJ's number 30, he gets his
they'll
meal
all
for free,
pay for JJ, but everyone goes in. And I don't know, I don't know who else is out there. Maybe somebody. I mean, he works for Bill Simmons. Maybe Simmons will be out there.
That's a good point. If Bill Simmons was there, I guess Bill would
I'm sure Bill would probably pay for it, but
Yeah.
I have no idea if he is.
I can tell you this. Had I known you were even on the option list, I would have enticed you to come because Carver came. I don't know if you know Mike Carver.
I know Carver, yes.
Okay. So Carver tells me he's coming. He arrives Wednesday night he's supposed to arrive at 12:30. His plane don't pull into the gate until 1 a.m. or 1:30. I say, I'll pick you up at the airport. I gave him my golf clubs so he didn't have to rent the golf clubs. Another kid named CeeLo.
Chris Lopresti.
Lopresti's there.
Yeah.
Carver hits me with, he's on the same plane. I didn't know. Can you pick him up too? I said, I got the sheriff van. I can pick you all up if I need to. Yeah. So the two of them pick them up, drop them off, and they say,
did they tip you? Did they give you a 5-star rating?
I took the bags out and everything. They were like, you don't have to do
No,
this.
you did not, Dave. They did not. They had to. You're not loading the bags for them.
They loaded them. I jumped out of the van in the loading zone at the Luxor and jumped out and got
Dave, you
bags
are too nice of a guy.
You really are.
1:30 in the morning, you're picking up Carver and Lopresti, and you've never even met Chris.
I never met Chris. He's a nice kid, though.
Nice guy. I love Lopresti. Very nice guy.
So now we drop them off at the Luxor. I mean, those two are staying at the Luxor. Now, you guys know the story about UConn last week. Left the Luxor.
Yeah, because it's a dump.
I tried to explain to them, you should have asked me before you came where to stay. Good luck. And they said, we're watching opening day baseball in the sports book. Where should we go? I give them 3 recommendations, and they say, all right, we'll call you in the morning. So I do BVB in the morning. I said, where are you guys at? They said, we're at the Cosmo. I said, perfect. So I go down to the Cosmo, where I worked for almost 2 years and know a lot of people still there behind the counter and all this other stuff. And I get there, and they're in these like side tables and stuff. I said, JJ, good to see you. Meet everybody. I said, what are you guys doing? He said, what do you mean? I said, why didn't you tell me you were coming here? I'd have got you the whole VIP experience thing. I think we can make this arrangement on a weekday in, March. It's no problem. So I go behind the counter. I said, what about all the sofas up front? You guys got anybody? Oh, no. What do you need? I said, I got like 20 guys here from New York. They're obnoxious Yankee fans, but don't let that bother you. I said, let them sit in the front. So we got them hooked up with the couches, the chairs right in the front at the Cosmo Sportsbook. They got to request the Mets game on one TV. And now this couch in the middle has 2 women sitting there and they won't move.
Oh my God.
So there's a big couch and chairs on one side, a big couch and chairs on the other, and them in the middle. All I did was ask them to move over to the one empty. They wouldn't move because the Pirate game was on in front of them. And she had a Pirate t-shirt on, a Pirate hat that said 28, and a Pirate purse. And I go, hey, are you guys from Pittsburgh? And they go, no. And I said, oh, okay. I said, I am. I'm just curious. What are you watching a Pirate game? And she goes, yeah, my son's playing right field. I said, oh, your son is playing right field today? Yeah. Kanan, Smith, and Jigba. It's his mom sitting there watching the game. And I said, you know what? You can sit right here. I'm going to sit with you. And then the woman goes, "What's your name again?" I said, Dave Sharapan. She's like, Are you on MLB Network? And I start laughing and I go, "Actually, I am." I said, "Yes, this is great." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Yeah." She's like, "You're funny. Like I like the show when you're on." And I said, "Well, thank you very much." I said, I'm sitting with these guys. This guy does the, Ringer. This guy does Sports Grid TV. I started introducing everybody. They couldn't have been nicer. And then she goes, "I didn't even know." She goes, "Yeah, my other son. Oh, he's only going to get drafted in the first round."
Yeah.
And so Carver goes, "Oh, I hope he goes to the Bills." And she's like, "Wait, which one of you guys are media guys and stuff?" And we start talking. It was tremendous. So they sat there in between all these Yankee guys and Mets guys watching the game. We lived and died. You want to talk about being a parent, okay? I mean, we're all parents of kids that are playing sports. Her son is batting 5th in the major leagues.
Yeah.
And she's sitting there videoing the TV, watching and living and dying with every pitch.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. You want to talk about an amazing afternoon. We exchanged numbers and stuff. KI will try to get him on the show and all these other things,
Nice.
a pirate right fielder. And then, I was trying to find out about where this kid's going to get drafted, because he's coming off an injury and all these other things.
Kanan had a hit in the opening game.
He did. It was
was
exciting as could be. It was great because he got called up in September and ran into Reynolds on a fly ball. And his mom goes, "Bad rookie mistake. You don't hurt the franchise center fielder." and he broke his wrist, so he didn't play, and he was coming back. So she found out 2 days ago that he made the big club because she's going to Pittsburgh next week for the home opener. She had a trip to Vegas planned and said, "I couldn't miss the trip to Vegas." So, I mean, it was a great afternoon.
That's awesome.
It was really a lot of fun. Those guys were really making their push for the Jets. To her, they're like, the Jets would be a great place for him to go and get drafted, and blah 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 blah. And she's like, "We have our list," and she wasn't saying without saying, but she's like, I don't know if she was excited about him going to the Jets.
I mean, is anybody excited about going to the Jets? I mean,
I'm just saying.
I
don't
mean, that's not like a thing, right?
I don't know. I don't know. We're
Ernie,
going to Stadium Swim tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, we got JJ got the no, he said he got the arrangements. Now we'll see, but he's like, "Sharepad, you're coming. You're coming." I was like, "Oh, all right." It's supposed to actually be 70 degrees tomorrow with sunshine. I told them all, if you're going to be out, they're going to play golf today. I got him a golf guy. If you ever need to come to Vegas and make golf arrangements, I put JJ in touch with a golf guy. He booked the whole group for an outing today. So they're playing golf at a place called Reflection Bay. It's one of the top 3 courses in the city. I love that place. So they're playing golf today and then Stadium Swim tomorrow.
All right. So what do you think the total of that dinner is?
It's going to be a lot.
Right back to that.
It's going to be a lot, Moose.
Like,
it's going to be a lot.
Like 10 grand?
10 grand.
Depending on, and I mean, I got to meet a lot of those guys yesterday. They're going pretty hard. There's a lot of guys that are younger. They're going pretty hard. It'll be 10's a good number, but I'm going to go under. Okay, I was thinking, I mean, if it's 30 guys,
even with tip.
So the way I did the math, Dave, I said
300 a guy.
Well, I did $100 for each person for dinner, right?
Fair.
Probably at least $50 for drinking for each person. Maybe more.
Could be more depending what they're drinking. Yes.
And then you also got to include appetizers then too. So yeah, you're probably talking about $300 a pop.
Yeah, I mean, 30 guys, 300 a pops, 9 dimes.
9 grand.
And then you still got a tip too. I mean, tip is included, I know, but usually add a little bit more on top of that.
So that's a good number.
You gotta go, Dave.
We got a curveball this morning. Little Consig is 9.
Oh,
we were
happy birthday.
We were late last night with a little bit of sickness.
She's not feeling well.
No, not birthday. Yeah, we had to go and get her checked.
Okay.
Diagnosis strep throat.
Oh, then you can't go.
So I don't
You're
know
out.
if I'm
You
leaving.
Stay home. Stay home.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm leaving the house.
Don't go give 30 people strep throat.
Don't be that guy.
Because you're a
Don't
hugger
be-
too. You know you're hugging everybody.
Yeah.
Bro hugs,
Yeah.
fist bumps, all the things. Yeah, I met a
That's
lot
it.
of guys yesterday. So.
Right.
So everyone's got strep from
I'm
yesterday.
fine.
Great. Okay. No, everyone's
I'm
got it.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, CeeLo and Carver, you picked them up and gave them strep.
You gave them strep. Yep. Good job.
I told Carver he had a birthday party on Saturday at Chuck E. Cheese, and I begged him not to go. I said, please don't bring that stuff out here. But he might have. I don't know. We're all good. We're fine. So
What do you think? Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Moose. Go ahead.
No. I was going to ask him a college basketball question.
No, that's not important. That's not important. That's not important.
It is kind of important. We got a lot
it's
of
not
things
even
working.
not even a little important.
Dave
The
and I
most
both
important-
need Miami.
Please.
All
Please.
right, go ahead. Do your gambling.
You're
thing,
gonna
and then
get
I'll
one
to my
right,
fun.
please.
What do you
Let's
think
get that
what do you think the right side is tomorrow night? Both games.
Right now?
Yeah.
So it was awesome. Last night, after everything, I went to the NIT final to watch North Texas. It was great, but I sat there with guys in their 60s who have been bookmakers and all kind of things for years, here and some other places. I get a text from Chris Andrews, a dear friend of mine. He's a director at the South Point. Mid-afternoon text. I'm going to the NIT final. I have extra tickets, and there's going to be people in the business there would like you to come. Canceled everything that I had. I told the wife, I got to go to the basketball game. She's like, with who? I said, Chris texted me and said I got to be there. She goes, have fun.
What do you wear to that?
What do I wear? A sweatshirt and a hat.
I mean, he says you're meeting people that are important. I'm wondering, like, does that change things?
No, well, he says you're meeting people in the business, and I know what that means without saying. So I was like, this, even if I don't watch one play of the basketball, I'm going to sit with these people. So the game is what it is. I don't know how Unbelievable stayed under. We were doing some stuff in game. It's fascinating to sit with other people who think like this and do this. But we discussed the right side of Saturday. Moose, I think we're very live. With Miami. That's all I can tell you.
Right.
I think them plus the points is a good bet, and I think we're live to win. I was surprised the consensus in that little area that I was sitting in, the other side was San Diego State, except for one guy.
Okay.
And that one guy is pretty good. He said, I don't think Florida Atlantic can win, but they can win. And if they win Saturday, they most definitely can win on Monday.
Do you know that FAU had the 5th best cover percentage in Division I this year?
So we saw them. How many Conference USA teams ended up
The
doing
CBI
what they did?
won,
right?
Yeah, the CBI, the NIT, and now FAU will be champion on Monday.
We got to get to this because Keith and I know Dave, you tweeted out how about, and I think we have it ready. Do we have the proposal video?
I'm dying to play this, please.
Oh, please,
guys. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Stop! Drop! Shut them down! Open up shop! Oh no! That's a Rough Riders roll.
Dude, it's just like, did he lose the ring?
No, it looked like there was a video also that they snapped a picture and they zoomed in, and it looked like as he got hit, the box closed. So I think he was fine.
He did not fumble?
No, apparently he didn't fumble.
I mean, clearly that's a targeting call, right? Like
no. He
that's-
was clean hit.
Such a formful tackle, though.
Clean hit.
Like,
that guy played.
That guy played.
Yes.
Shoulder
Oh,
down,
there's no
head
doubt he
out. Like
That security guard's been
launching.
waiting for that moment.
No
He's
doubt.
playing for the USFL now 2 weeks from now.
I mean, that is an amazing hit.
If you're The Rock, you're not calling him and seeing if he wants to be in the XFL? Yeah, you are. USFL, whatever it is.
What are you doing right now, Dave?
No, hold on.
Dave's distracted right now.
Oh, I was getting a rubber band, man.
I know.
He's very distracted right now.
I know. There you go.
That's the
let's
rubber band.
Let's all be distracted. I'm just going to start looking at my phone too.
No. I pulled it up. I didn't know you had video. This is a great new addition to the show. Good job by you guys and Ernie and stuff. That was awesome.
Yeah.
There it is. Do it, Ernie.
This is what he came into?
Yes.
Man.
This is not Enter the Sandman, huh?
70s, man.
Right, it's the 70s. You got to understand. You go to the stands, there's the wafting of weed smell.
Oh! Right. The whole stadium stood up.
We'll see you Monday at 10, guys.
Hell yeah.